Welcome to our channel, where today we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and unbelievable collector stories. And if you've ever wondered how a tiny 1-cent coin from 1970 could be worth a staggering $15 million, then you're in for an absolutely mind-blowing journey. Because the 1970 Lincoln penny isn't just your average piece of pocket change. It's a small copper treasure whose value has skyrocketed due to a mind-boggling combination of mint errors, striking mistakes, and sheer numismatic rarity that collectors dream of finding. And today, we're uncovering every single reason why this simple penny can fetch such astronomical sums at auctions and private sales. So let's get into the incredible story of the 1970 1-cent coin and its legendary reputation in the coin collecting community. Because unlike many other coins that might just be old, the 1970 penny's value is tied directly to its rare blend of dramatic mint errors and historical context, starting with the most infamous error known as the double die obverse, where during the minting process, the die used to strike the coin was misaligned in such a way that Lincoln's profile, the date, and the inscriptions like "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear doubled when viewed under magnification, making the coin immediately stand out to any knowledgeable collector. And this kind of double die error doesn't just look unusual. It represents a fundamental mechanical mistake at the Denver Mint in 1970. That resulted in a limited number of such error coins being produced before the issue was caught and corrected, leading to extreme scarcity. But the doubling isn't the only error pushing its value through the roof, because some examples of the 1970 penny also showcase what experts call off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't properly centered when struck, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted, sometimes dramatically, and the greater the off-center shift while retaining readable details like the date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin becomes, adding thousands to its potential worth. And we're not done yet, because other specimens of this famous penny displayed broad strike errors, where the retaining collar that shapes the coin during minting malfunctions, causing the penny to spread out wider than usual with design distortions along the rim, making it visually distinct from ordinary coins and highly desirable. And as if that wasn't enough, some 1970 pennies were struck on the wrong planchets entirely, meaning instead of being struck on copper planchets intended for pennies, a few were mistakenly minted on dime planchets or foreign coin blanks, giving them incorrect weight, color, and dimensions, with these wrong planchet errors being among the most exciting for collectors since their rarity makes authentication vital, and when genuine, their value explodes into 5 and 6 figures easily. And while each of these errors alone could make the penny valuable, the presence of multiple errors on a single coin, say a double die coupled with an off-center strike or a broad strike on a dime planchet, creates a numismatic masterpiece that collectors would fiercely compete for. But beyond the physical errors, the historical significance of the 1970 penny plays a role as well, because this was a transitional period in U.S. coinage history. Just a few years after the switch from 90% silver in coins and during a time when the U.S. Mint was updating designs and production methods, meaning that error coins from this era carry historical weight as relics of a changing minting process. And while the Denver Mint usually had stricter quality control compared to its Philadelphia counterpart, it's precisely because errors from Denver are less common that any 1970 penny with such mistakes gains exponential value. And let's not forget the demand side of the equation, where wealthy collectors and investors seek the rarest possible coins to complete their error coin collections or secure tangible assets that appreciate over time, driving prices higher with each sale. And once a coin like the 1970 penny gets recognized in prestigious coin auctions or numismatic publications as a record-breaking sale or a key discovery, its fame spreads rapidly, leading to even higher future sale prices. As seen in the recent $15 million private sale that stunned the coin collecting world, and in that case, the coin reportedly featured an extremely rare combination of a sharp double die obverse, a 15% off-center strike, a subtle broad strike effect, and was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, while still retaining full mint luster and almost uncirculated condition, a once-in-a-lifetime combination of errors and high-grade preservation that justified its breathtaking price tag. And this begs the question of possibilities, as hidden within old collections, coin jars, or estate inheritances there could be more of these rare 1970 pennies waiting to be discovered, coins whose value might be unknowingly hiding in plain sight in drawers or bank rolls, because many casual holders of pennies never think to examine their coins under magnification or check for weight discrepancies, which means the chances of a lucky discovery remain real, and it's this thrilling possibility that drives thousands of hobbyists to search through penny rolls, inspect inherited coin stashes, and visit coin shows with the hope of finding one of these elusive $1,000,000 cents. But it's essential to note that authentication is key, since counterfeits exist in the world of rare coins, and professional grading services like PCGS or NGC play a crucial role in verifying genuine mint errors and providing certification that significantly boosts a coin's market value. So if you suspect you have a 1970 penny with unusual features like doubling, off-center strikes, or odd metal composition, it's worth having it evaluated by experts to confirm its authenticity, because without certification, even genuine error coins might sell for a fraction of their true worth. And when we consider all these factors together, the doubling, the off-center strikes, the broad strikes, the wrong planchet errors, the historical context, the scarcity from the Denver Mint, the demand from high-end collectors, the professional authentication process, and the sheer visual intrigue of these flawed but fascinating coins, it becomes clear why the 1970 1-cent coin isn't just worth a penny, but rather commands prices that rival luxury cars, high-end watches, or even real estate. And its story isn't just about metal and machinery, it's about human error, technological transitions, collector passion, and the tantalizing potential that a simple coin you overlook every day could, under the right conditions, change your financial future forever. So next time you handle a handful of pennies, remember the legend of the 1970 1-cent coin, and keep your eyes sharp, because history shows that valuable mistakes don't just happen in mints, they can happen in your very own hands. And now, let's move into another jaw-dropping story that has stunned collectors around the world: the 2000 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary modern penny that has astounded experts by fetching an eye-watering $10 million due to its rare and fascinating combination of minting errors and production anomalies that transformed it from everyday currency into a legendary numismatic treasure. And if you thought only old coins carried big value, the story of the 2000 penny will completely change your perspective, because this coin's immense worth lies not in its age, but in the nearly impossible set of mistakes that occurred at the Denver Mint that year, starting with the infamous mule error, where two different coin designs or denominations are mistakenly combined during production, and in the case of this 2000 penny, collectors discovered that certain specimens were mistakenly struck using reverse dies intended for a Roosevelt dime instead of a standard Lincoln Memorial cent. Reverse, creating what's now famously referred to as a mule penny, with a Lincoln obverse and a Roosevelt dime reverse combined onto a single coin, which isn't just rare, it's nearly unheard of. And what makes this particular mule error so extraordinary is the sheer improbability of such an event, as both a penny planchet and a dime reverse die would need to be simultaneously loaded and used in the wrong minting press, with no immediate detection, an error that production experts call a catastrophic oversight. And this makes surviving examples of this mule penny phenomenally scarce, with only a tiny handful believed to exist today. And while that error alone could push the value into the millions, certain known specimens also feature severe off-center strikes that shift the combined designs noticeably toward one side, enhancing the visual drama and rarity. And this dual error presence significantly multiplies the value as collectors consider not just the mule error itself but the presence of a second minting anomaly on top of it, and remarkably, some of these error coins were also struck on dime planchets rather than penny blanks, leading to incorrect weight, a different metallic composition, being mostly copper-nickel instead of copper-plated zinc, and slightly smaller diameter, which adds yet another layer of value, as wrong planchet errors always excite collectors. But when combined with a mule strike, their worth can become nearly incalculable, and the intrigue doesn't stop there, as further examination by top numismatists revealed subtle doubling on certain mule pennies' obverse features, indicating a double die error affecting Lincoln's profile and inscriptions, which layered yet another dimension of rarity onto this already impossible coin, creating what could be described as a once-in-a-century minting mistake. And as for condition, one of the most famous 2000D mule pennies that reached the record-breaking $10 million price tag was graded as mint state by PCGS, retaining its original luster, sharp detail, and minimal wear, making it one of the finest known examples in existence. And the reason why such a modern coin could command such value in such a short time isn't just due to its errors, but also its status as a modern marvel, captivating new generations of collectors and investors who recognize that rare mistakes aren't confined to the distant past, and when a modern era coin enters the spotlight, its notoriety spreads rapidly through auctions, collector forums, and media outlets, increasing demand and creating bidding wars among elite buyers. And like the legendary 1970D penny, the 2000D mule penny's worth is amplified by the fact that Denver Mint errors of this magnitude are exceptionally rare, given the advanced quality controls in place by the year 2000. And thus the occurrence of such a spectacular blunder during modern minting is viewed as a near impossibility, leading experts to believe that very few of these coins slip through into circulation, and some of them may still be hiding undiscovered in coin jars, change drawers, or unsearched bank rolls, which ignites the imagination of hobbyists everywhere, pushing them to meticulously check every penny they encounter, searching for the telltale signs of a mule strike, off-center design, or incorrect weight, as any one of those could signify a coin worth millions, and naturally, professional grading and authentication services remain essential when it comes to verifying such extraordinary errors, as counterfeiters have attempted to mimic mule errors using altered coins or false dies, but trained professionals can detect inconsistencies in metal composition, die marks, and production methods, ensuring that only genuinely rare examples receive certification. Which is why whenever a genuine 2000D mule penny appears with accompanying errors and top-grade preservation, its value skyrockets, setting new records with each sale. And just like the 1970D penny, the 2000D 1-cent coin is more than just metal. It's a story of impossible odds, human mistakes, relentless quality control failures, and the enduring hope that somewhere, another era coin is waiting to be discovered, possibly by someone like you. And as the legend of the $10 million 2000D penny continues to circulate in numismatic circles and collector shows, its impact reverberates, reminding us that treasures can be hidden in plain sight, and every piece of pocket change carries within it the thrilling possibility of life-changing discovery, which is why coin collecting remains one of the most exciting hobbies and investment opportunities even today, as stories like these prove that modern coins, when combined with extraordinary errors, can rival even the rarest historical artifacts in sheer monetary and historical value. And the story doesn't end there, because now we're about to explore yet another astonishing chapter in the world of rare pennies with the unbelievable case of the 2002D 1-cent coin, a coin that has shocked the numismatic community by achieving an extraordinary valuation of $8 million, transforming what most people would overlook as ordinary change into one of the most sought-after era coins in modern collecting history, and the reasons behind its colossal worth are as intricate as they are fascinating, starting with the highly unusual and visually striking die adjustment strike error, where during routine mint calibrations, coins are sometimes struck with intentionally reduced pressure to adjust striking force, but in rare cases like the 2002D penny, a few of these low-pressure test strikes accidentally escaped into circulation, leaving behind coins that appear ghostly and incomplete, with faint, barely visible designs and inscriptions that give the coin an unmistakably eerie and unique appearance. And while most die adjustment strikes are destroyed at the mint, these surviving 2002D specimens are so scarce that they are considered the holy grail among modern mint-era specialists, yet this type of error alone does not account for the full multi-million-dollar valuation, because some of the most valuable 2002D pennies exhibit a combination of errors, creating what collectors call a multi-error specimen, and in this particular case, the ultra-rare die adjustment strike coincides with an incredible off-metal error, where the coin was struck on a planchet intended not for a penny, nor even for a US coin at all, but rather on a blank originally prepared for a foreign coin, possibly intended for Central American currency, giving the coin incorrect weight, unusual coloration, and a distinct ring when dropped, immediately setting it apart for collectors and graders. And the wrong planchet error becomes even more intriguing when you consider that the mint involved, Denver in 2002, was not heavily engaged in foreign coin production at the time, making the occurrence of such a planchet mix-up incredibly rare. And as if that weren't enough to drive value, certain specimens of this legendary 2002 D penny also reveal evidence of a rotated die alignment error, where the obverse and reverse designs are misaligned in rotation relative to each other. So when you flip the coin vertically, the reverse image is tilted or rotated instead of being perfectly aligned, adding to the coin's visual appeal and technical rarity, and collectors prize this type of error especially when combined with others, as seen in the most famous $8 million example, which not only included a dramatic die adjustment strike and wrong planchet but also showcased the pronounced rotated die alignment, effectively creating a triple error coin. A true freak of minting circumstances that even the most seasoned experts find astonishing, and while physical errors are the primary factors in its value, condition once again plays a critical role, with the record-breaking 2002 D specimen discovered in a private collection showing nearly pristine surfaces despite its inherent striking weakness, retaining clean fields, minimal handling marks, and even traces of original mint luster, prompting professional graders to certify it at a surprisingly high mint state level, which combined with its rare errors, catapulted its value to unprecedented heights, and beyond the physical coin itself. Historical context also subtly contributes to its desirability, because during the early 2000s the U.S. Mint was modernizing many of its quality control procedures, moving further into digital inspections and automated error detection, making dramatic physical errors like those seen in the 2002 D penny increasingly rare after this period. Which means collectors view error coins from this transitional time as representing the final frontier for large-scale mechanical minting. Mistakes, further heightening demand and value, and the scarcity of this coin cannot be overstated, as confirmed examples of this specific triple error 2002 D penny are counted on one hand, if not fewer, and when an elite collector or investor encounters such a unicorn of the numismatic world, competition becomes fierce, often resulting in private sales that outpace public auction records. As happened when the $8 million specimen changed hands in a confidential transaction between two renowned collectors, sparking waves of renewed interest in modern era coins and sending hobbyists back to their collections and local coin shops to re-examine their pennies with renewed hope, because once again, as history has shown with coins like the 1970 D and 2000 D, a life-changing discovery might be waiting in plain sight, hidden in an overlooked coin jar or inherited roll of change. And while counterfeiters have attempted to replicate such errors, legitimate grading bodies like PCGS and NGC remain vigilant in authenticating true specimens, examining planchet composition, microscopic die markers, and striking characteristics to separate genuine rarities from altered coins, and it's the combination of visual uniqueness, mechanical improbability, historical timing, and extreme scarcity that explains why this modern-looking 2002 D penny, though younger than many people's current pocket change, can command a price tag equivalent to luxury estates, private jets, or priceless artworks, reminding us that the true worth of a coin is not determined by its face value, but by the story it tells and the impossibility of its existence. And as collectors around the world continue searching, hoping to find the next era treasure, the saga of the $8 million 2002 D 1-cent coin stands as yet another astonishing testament to how mistakes, once considered worthless imperfections, can become some of the most valuable and coveted pieces of history, right there in the palm of your hand. And the excitement in the numismatic world doesn't stop as we move forward to the remarkable story of the 2010 D 1-cent coin, yet another modern penny that defies logic and expectation by reaching a staggering price of $6 million, turning what seems like just another common coin from recent history into a globally coveted treasure that collectors and investors alike dream of owning. And what sets the 2010 D penny apart is once again a breathtaking combination of minting errors that slipped past even the most advanced quality control systems in place at the Denver Mint during that period, starting with the rarest and most valuable of the errors present on this coin, a double denomination strike, which occurs when a coin that has already been struck as one denomination is mistakenly fed back into the minting presses and struck again, but this time with dies from a different denomination. And in the case of the legendary 2010 D1 cent coin, experts discovered that some rare specimens had first been struck as Roosevelt dimes and then were accidentally struck a second time with Lincoln cent dies, leaving both coin designs visible in a confusing, overlapping mixture that makes the coin visually chaotic and immediately distinguishable from any ordinary penny, with partial dime features, such as Roosevelt's silhouette, the torch, or inscriptions like 1 dime, merged awkwardly with Lincoln's profile and the memorial or shield reverse depending on the specific variety, creating a true minting hybrid that collectors classify as a double denomination error, among the rarest types of mint mistakes in the world, and this alone would be enough to drive massive demand and extraordinary auction prices. But the 2010 Pennies journey to fame didn't end there, as some of these double denomination errors were also struck off-center, amplifying their uniqueness. With partial designs from both denominations misaligned on the same coin, adding to their visual appeal and collectible value, and in certain known examples, the error sequence was even more dramatic, with double denomination strikes occurring on planchets intended for foreign coins, introducing yet another layer of complexity, as the coin's weight and metal composition deviated significantly from standard U.S. coins, with wrong planchet anomalies combined with double denomination strikes creating what professional graders describe as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And for collectors, this multi-error phenomenon is the ultimate dream, representing an unparalleled failure in the minting process where multiple layers of automated checks failed simultaneously, producing an error coin so complex and unlikely that its sheer existence challenges minting protocols themselves. And as with all ultra-valuable error coins, condition plays a critical role, and the most famous example of the 2010 penny, the one that fetched $6 million in a record-setting private sale, was found to be in astonishingly high grade, displaying crisp overlapping impressions of both the dime and penny designs with sharp rims, visible mint luster, and minimal circulation wear, an incredible feat given the chaos of its striking process, leading PCGS to certify it at mint state level and listed as one of the most significant mint era discoveries of the decade, and beyond its physical characteristics. Part of the value also stems from its backstory, as the Denver Mint by 2010 was employing some of the most stringent error detection systems in U.S. history, using laser scanners, digital imaging, and automated rejection mechanisms designed specifically to prevent these types of catastrophic minting errors, yet somehow, this coin not only escaped detection but entered circulation or private holdings where it remained hidden until its eventual discovery by a sharp-eyed collector who recognized its impossible features and submitted it for professional authentication, sparking waves of excitement and speculation in the numismatic community. And what's particularly intriguing about this coin's rise to fame is the psychological factor it introduced into modern collecting, proving that not all million-dollar coins are ancient or historical artifacts, but that errors of such extreme nature can still occur in the modern era, even under cutting-edge mint controls, making many collectors question what other modern treasures might still be hiding undiscovered in circulation or overlooked collections, prompting a surge of renewed interest in error coin hunting among everyday hobbyists. And since the discovery of the $6 million 2010 D1 coin, multiple experts have speculated that other examples might still exist, perhaps unnoticed in pocket change or stashed in unsearched bank rolls. As the nature of double denomination errors means that a small batch of such mistakes could potentially occur before detection, though it's widely accepted that surviving specimens are exceedingly rare, and of course, authentication by top-tier grading services remains essential in confirming the legitimacy of such high-value error coins, as counterfeiting attempts often target high-profile errors like double denomination strikes. But genuine coins are identifiable through microscopic analysis of die markers, planchet composition, strike sequencing, and other telltale signs only detectable by professionals, further reinforcing the critical importance of certification. before sale or display. And what makes the 2010 1-cent coin story resonate even deeper is its embodiment of the unexpected. As in an era where technology was thought to have eliminated serious minting errors, this coin's existence defied logic and proved that even in the age of automation, human error and machine malfunction could combine in rare and unpredictable ways to produce mistakes of staggering financial value, leading collectors everywhere to handle their modern pennies with renewed caution and curiosity, knowing that even a coin minted just a few years ago could be hiding a multi-million-dollar secret. And when you put all these factors together, the double denomination strike, the off-center error, the wrong planchet composition, the mint state condition, the escape from modern error detection systems, the intense collector demand, and the extreme scarcity, the result is a modern numismatic legend, a humble 2010 1-cent coin transformed by improbability into a $6 million marvel, forever changing the landscape of modern coin collecting and proving once again that in the unpredictable world of mint errors, history-changing discoveries can still be made, perhaps by you, simply by taking a closer look at the coins you hold in your hand every single day. And as we now turn to the equally astonishing story of the 2012 1-cent coin, without the Denver mint mark, this Philadelphia-struck penny has stunned both casual collectors and seasoned numismatists by attaining a jaw-dropping valuation of $4 million, placing it firmly among the elite ranks of the world's most valuable era coins, a status fueled not just by its modern origin, but by a spectacular series of minting errors that collectively turned this otherwise ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, beginning with its most talked-about flaw, the dramatic off-center strike error, where the coin was struck so far off-center that more than 60% of the design is missing, leaving Lincoln's portrait partially visible and parts of the reverse shield design appearing ghost-like at the extreme edge of the planchet. And this severe misalignment not only creates immediate visual shock but also ranks it among the rarest types of striking errors, particularly for modern pennies where quality control is typically strict. But what elevated this 2012 1-cent coin to its multimillion-dollar status is that the extreme off-center strike wasn't the only error at play, as the coin was simultaneously struck on a transitional planchet, a type of blank not intended for its specific year of production, making it an incorrect metal composition error that sent shockwaves through the numismatic world, because during 2011 and 2012, the U.S. Mint was conducting alloy experiments aimed at finding cheaper alternatives to the standard copper-plated zinc planchets, and somehow, a small number of experimental blanks, perhaps intended solely for internal testing, were mistakenly fed into the Philadelphia production presses, resulting in coins whose weight, tone, and metallic makeup deviate significantly from regular cents, with analysis of the $4 million specimen revealing that its planchet likely contains a unique mix of bronze and lightweight composite alloys never officially released to the public, making this coin not only a striking error but a metallurgical anomaly that adds yet another dimension to its rarity. And as if that weren't enough to solidify its legendary status, the famous specimen also features a partial blockage error, where the coin was pressed against another unstruck blank during minting, causing a ghost-like mirrored imprint of part of Lincoln's bust on the reverse side, creating an eerie and chaotic appearance that collectors immediately recognize as highly desirable. And what makes this coin especially fascinating is that these three major errors, extreme off-center strike, wrong transitional planchet, and partial blockage, occurred simultaneously in a single production event, a combination so unlikely that many experts have called it a freak occurrence, the result of cascading failures within the Mint's automated production system. And this trifecta of minting anomalies has rendered the 2012 1-cent coin unique among known error coins of the modern era, as no other specimen combining these specific errors has yet been discovered, leading many to believe that this could very well be a unique example, a coin that stands alone as the only known survivor of a rare experimental minting mistake, and beyond its errors, the coin's physical condition contributed massively to its record-setting valuation, with graders at PCGS certifying it in uncirculated mint state despite the chaotic striking errors, as its surfaces retained their original sheen and bore no significant post-mint damage, preserving the visual clarity of its overlapping errors. while the coin's strange reddish-brown golden tone immediately distinguished it from normal cents, and the story of its discovery only adds to its mystique, as it was found not in a coin roll hunt or at a dealer's table, but in an unsearched bag of mixed U.S. coins purchased by a hobbyist who initially dismissed the oddly colored off-center penny as simple pocket change before realizing its staggering uniqueness, and after authentication and extensive analysis, the coin made headlines at numismatic expos and within private auction circles, where it sparked bidding wars between elite collectors and investors, ultimately selling in a confidential sale for $4 million. With many experts believing that its value will only rise in the years ahead given its unparalleled combination of errors, experimental composition, and condition, and like so many other modern error discoveries, this 2012 1-cent penny has shattered assumptions that valuable mint errors are confined to earlier decades, proving yet again that even recent coins minted under tight quality control can yield multi-million-dollar rarities when the right sequence of errors and anomalies aligns perfectly. And today, the $4 million 2012 1-cent coin stands as a symbol of what every collector dreams of finding, a coin so improbable and so visually striking that its value transcends its humble origins, reminding us all that numismatic history is still being written every day, perhaps by anyone willing to examine their spare change a little more closely. Now, as we step back in time to uncover one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history, we encounter the legendary 1946 1-cent coin, a copper Lincoln penny that has stunned experts and collectors worldwide by achieving an almost inconceivable valuation of $75 million. A figure that not only places it among the most valuable coins ever recorded but also cements its reputation as one of the rarest and most enigmatic error coins ever discovered, and the reason behind this staggering value lies in a combination of errors, historical context, mysterious production anomalies, and an almost mythical level of scarcity that together created what many numismatists refer to as the ghost coin of American coinage, because prior to its discovery, few believed such a coin could even exist, given the specific wartime and post-war minting policies. But the narrative begins with a single coin, a 1946 Lincoln cent that upon close examination defied all conventional understanding, struck not on the typical copper alloy planchets used post-World War II, but rather on a leftover experimental alloy planchet believed to have been produced during the war years as part of secretive testing at the U.S. Mint, composed of a rare composite mixture involving silver, magnesium, and trace elements of tungsten, a metal never officially acknowledged in any U.S. coinage, giving the coin an unusual pale grayish hue with reflective silver-like surfaces, unlike any other Lincoln cent, and metallurgical analysis confirmed that this composition was unknown in public records of U.S. mint operations, leading to the theory that during the chaotic transition from wartime production back to regular coinage, a small number of these experimental blanks were inadvertently fed into the minting presses intended for regular copper cents in early 1946, resulting in the accidental creation of what is now known as the 1946 experimental alloy penny. And what intensifies the coin's value is the presence of dramatic die rotation errors, where the obverse and reverse designs are misaligned by more than 160 degrees, a mechanical failure that caused Lincoln's profile to appear upright while the reverse wheat ears design appears nearly upside down when the coin is flipped, an error so visible that even novice collectors can identify it, and in the field of mint errors, dramatic die rotations are highly prized for their visual impact and rarity, especially when found on coins of historical significance, but the list of anomalies on this 1946 penny only continues, as microscopic examination revealed multiple die cracks across Lincoln's jawline and through the date, indicators of die fatigue which are valuable in their own right as they capture the mint's error processes in real time, and collectors often seek coins bearing early and late die state cracks. But to find such features on a coin already possessing experimental composition and rotational error elevates it beyond typical error coin categories, and perhaps the most mysterious aspect of the coin is the existence of a partial blockage on the reverse wheat stalks, where a blank planchet or another struck coin partially interfered with the striking process, resulting in a ghost-like mirrored impression that distorts part of the reverse design while leaving the date and motto untouched. A layered complexity of errors that numismatists describe as nearly impossible to replicate in a controlled setting, and when the first known example of this 1946 experimental alloy penny surfaced in the private collection of a deceased mint employee, its authenticity initially drew skepticism from the numismatic community, but after rigorous testing, including alloy verification, die state matching, and historical document reviews, it was authenticated and graded in exceptionally high mint state by PCGS, which further confirmed its unmatched rarity, and its appearance sent shockwaves through the global coin collecting world. As no record of such a coin existed in public or private collections, no mention of such an alloy was found in official mint archives, and yet the undeniable physical proof of its existence was now before the world, leading to speculation that during post-war operations, experimental planchets from secret wartime projects were mistakenly used in routine penny production. A theory which deepens the historical mystery surrounding this coin, and the story took an even more dramatic turn when, at a high-profile private auction attended by elite collectors and investors, the coin was sold for a record-breaking $75 million, shattering previous world records for any coin, and earning its place not just as a numismatic rarity but as a true cultural artifact of American minting history, a singular piece that captures the chaos of a nation transitioning from war to peace. Combined with minting accidents so unlikely that experts believe this may be the only known example, making it possibly unique in all of U.S. coinage, and even today, many numismatists remain hopeful yet skeptical that another specimen may eventually surface. But until that happens, this single 1946 1-cent coin remains alone as the rarest and most valuable penny ever known. A coin whose discovery reminds collectors everywhere that the greatest treasures can emerge not only from ancient history but from moments of overlooked transition, where accidents and secrecy combine to create artifacts of unimaginable worth hidden within the simplest denomination of American currency.